Hello everyone. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, but if you don't know who I am, I'm Scott Scoot Belmont. I am a League of Legends coach and analyst, and I'm going to be working with a university this upcoming year, but that's more info for later. Right now, I just want to talk about Cloud9's draft versus FlyQuest. I read a lot of the post-game discussion, and although I didn't see the game myself, pretty much everyone was saying, like, oh my god, Reapered's a genius for this draft. And I imagine it's a lot of, cool, interesting flex crap, because I saw in the post-game that Zazel was playing Zillion, which oh no, Jensen didn't play Zillion? Weird new concept. So I'm going to take you through the draft, explain it step by step. And I haven't seen this draft before, but I do kind of know these players, their champion pools. And, well, I might as well just. Oh, that's the wrong button. I might as well just get into it. And you're going to see my pretty face right here, except instead of Licorice's. So let's see how this goes down. So FlyQuest, they start off by banning Kindred, which obviously takes away from the Kindred Zillion. So why pick Zillion if you're gonna not have the Kindred? Maybe that's what FlyQuest was thinking originally, and that's why they only banned the Kindred. Banning out Gangplank and Nocturne. I mean, Gangplank is one of Licorice's better picks, and the level 6 ultimate can't be bothered to deal with that once the time comes. And then Nocturne, kind of the same way. It's a really strong early game jungling champion, and again, you hit level 6, you just go somewhere and win the game. Now, Cloud9 was left to ban Aatrox. It's like Season 3 Kassadin all over again. Red side has to ban Aatrox, and I don't like that. But, we gotta make do with what we have. Trundle is normally a good pick when you're playing it into tanks because he acts as the tank buster, or when someone has a front line that will clash in the face like that. So yeah, just a good tank busting champion. Santorin's played it a few times. Rumble has been rising in the meta recently, so banning Rumble, I'm not sure if that's the greatest ban, but apparently Flame, the game or the week before, had a fantastic game on it. So it might just be one of those, like, let's just ban away this pocket pick and see what happens, because I haven't seen too much Rumble being played outside of, I think the meme was the NA Korean players. So let's get into these picks next. The bans I'm pretty much comfortable with. I think FlyQuest was a little if they were trying to break up the Kindred Zillion combo, then I probably would have think they would want to ban away Zillion instead, because you could still play Gragas and ult the Kindred out of it, and you know still stop it that way. Tom Kench first pick for FlyQuest. It's the strongest support right now in terms of helping your teammates, so it's not a very bad pick. But here we go into Cloud9's amazing, super beautiful flex draft, where it looks like they're going to lock in the Zillion right now. I'll just skip ahead a little bit. And they do. So we know Jensen has been playing it nonstop in mid, and he's been pretty strong on it, especially alongside that Kindred, to just make it impossible for one person to die. Kind of like those Zac revive Anivia comps that they just keep on reviving and reviving. And Jin to follow up. So Jin is, in the context of picking him solo, you don't know who the support is yet. Jin is just one of those overpowering lane ADCs that transitions really well into the mid game. Late game, depending on how big FlyQuest's front line is, or their supporting cast, which it looks like they just chose Ashe and Sejuani to try to nullify this Jin pick, because when Jin opens up his curtains, Ashe can just fire an arrow right at him. Kind of like with Bard, except you can actually block the arrow. So I think this is an okay counter pick from FlyQuest, because they see, okay, they're going to have the Jin, probably going to have that Zillion in the mid lane, so let's pick up a tanky front line that can, tank those bombs and is not going to worry about getting stunned even, and then someone who can stop Jin when he starts to ult. You could also do that with Sejuani ultimate, but it's not a global range. And then this is going to be followed up by the Camille pick, which Camille, earlier in the season, I think mostly in spring maybe, was played in the jungle. But can obviously still go top, and is another one of those fancy flex picks. Now, I think in this context, FlyQuest thinks, okay, they're probably going to put that Camille in top lane, so we already know what their solo laners are. So FlyQuest is probably going to want to try to pick away some of those counters, or they might think Cloud9 is going to try to ban them away. So St. Vicious is probably just talking about, like, if they ban this, we can go with this instead. Mundo, I don't think that's banning away a counter pick, or it might be trying to bait out the, yeah, this is a Camille top, we're banning Mundo because of it. So that might be a little bit of those mind games that were mentioned on Reddit. So I mean, Camille does pretty well into Mundo in lane, but obviously in the late game, you can't stop a Mundo with Spirit Visage and a crap ton of armor, so he's just going to run across your team. And then they finish it off with a Gnar ban. That's another kind of, counter to that top lane Camille, because he just stays out of range with his mini form, and then when he finally does go mega form, it's like, why are you going to engage on someone who's tankier, someone with more AD? It doesn't matter if he's slower, he's just going to be dealing back more damage to you. And then FlyQuest is going to finish it up with, well, the freaking bar is in the way, but they're going to finish it up with Braum and Olaf bans. So Olaf is pretty good into this team comp because he could just hit the R button and ignore two of the enemy ultimates and just run right through them. He's pretty good at ganking Tahm Kench's, especially because if you just perma-slow Tahm Kench, it doesn't matter who he eats because he'll just continue to be slowed up over and over again. So I think that's just them wanting to get rid of that. And then Braum, obviously into Ashe and Kench. Braum is really easy, again, to perma-slow Kench, stun him up, keep him still, while Ashe, he just wants to block that arrow. And she's an immobile ADC that is going to need the Tahm Kench, so eventually when the gank comes down, Braum Olaf would kill this bot lane over and over again. So I think that's a smart ban. It's a safe ban, and especially considering they didn't know that these picks were going to be flexed, it's not a bad draft from FlyQuest so far. But I really do like how Cloud9 is trying to bait the, yes, Camille top. We are banning her counter picks. And I assume here's when they're going to switch it all up and send that Camille into jungle by picking their top laner, or they might save that for last pick. Because, again, I didn't watch this. Yep, and that's exactly it. So, they picked away one of Ornn's pretty okay counters. Like, Camille does pretty well into Ornn lanes. I've played about 70 Ornn games this season, and it always feels bad when you're blowing your breath and she just vaults away with her legs, only to come back and stun you after your shield is down, and then it's like, okay, I can't do anything about that. So, it's really easy, or rather, it's really well baited out by Cloud9 to not only ban two of Ornn's more difficult matchups, but also pick it away and make FlyQuest think that they were going to have a chance at maybe picking that into Camille, or Ornn is a very safe laner, so he would still be pretty good into Camille. But picking that away definitely weakens FlyQuest's top lane pool, because now 4 or 5, 6 of your potential top lane, 7 if you count the Gangplank, are taken away. So now they're going to have to fall back onto Kennen, which, yeah, does well into Ornn, but it's, he starts to go in on you and you just put up your shield and take no damage, then you dash away, and it's like, okay, well, at least I could still ranged auto attack him, which if he's going AP, you're not going to really mind it, especially in the early game if you're Ornn. Whereas if you're going AD Kennen, then he's going to struggle a bit more, but only after you get like your Blade of the Ruined King. So Ornn in the mid game gets countered in the split push. So FlyQuest, probably seeing what is lined up here right now, obviously sees Camille Ornn combo, not even counting the zillion bombs that are gonna go on top of it. So they're already thinking, all right, we need something to try to split push and keep our team separated, give our team some disengage with this Azir pick. Azir, yeah, I think he does well. Well, they obviously thought it was going to be a Zillion mid, so it does well into the Zillion mid. because you can just keep them at range with your own sand soldiers, and then you're never going to be close enough to the bombs anyway. And then if anyone does come in at you with bombs, you can just ult them away and be like, haha, you're doing no damage this game. Plus, he can push waves really hard, and with the attack speed he builds, he can split push against Zillion, kind of. Zillion will just clear the wave in 2 bombs anyway, but this is a pretty good 1-3-1 setup from FlyQuest right now. I'm not sold on the Azir. Something maybe like Rise, because he has that very small teleport and can move around the map slightly easier, maybe would have been a better pick. I'm not really sure. But let's see what Cloud9's last pick is, because I honestly don't know. But I saw Bjergsen on Assassin's meme, so maybe it's an Assassin. And then, here we go, LeBlanc. Let me just skip ahead, and it is locked in. So this is where Cloud9 says, okay, we're going to flex Zillion mid, or maybe that was their plan all along. They baited out good matchups for themselves in, well, that's how you flex picks. You bait out those matchups for yourself. So they got a pretty decent matchup as far as being able to out roam and deal a lot of burst damage as far as the LeBlanc goes. So this just kind of piles on to their big team fighting go in comp, because you put a bomb onto LeBlanc and then she goes face first into the enemy team. You can't really, you know, do much in time to that, like unless you're super reactionary with your Tom Kench eat onto the target or Azir wall. Like FlyQuest has a lot of pretty good disengage, but it's going to be reacting to that disengage that's going to be the struggle, because if they're all knocked up by Ornn, or if they're all locked in by Camille, or if they're all stunned up by Zillion, then you're not going to be able to stop the LeBlanc. And you know, I wouldn't call this a genius draft. It was a pretty smart draft, but just my personal opinion, it was a pretty good draft. You could have, I think, again, well, no, Rise doesn't do well into Azir at all. I'm trying to think of other mid laners that Cloud9 has played this season. Let me see Jensen. Oh wait, no, that's the post-game interview. I want to look up Jensen's stats to see what other champions he's played this split, because I don't like LeBlanc into Azir in lane, but if LeBlanc can get an opportunity to roam or can team fight well in the mid game, like getting a pick, Cloud9 can easily get a pick too, but FlyQuest also has themselves equipped to get picks with Ash Arrow and Sejuani Ultimate. Let me go on Oracle's Elixir, because there are other opportunities. Let's see, players by champion, player stats, summer, regular season. Jensen. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't show his champion pool on here. Unlucky. So, I don't know what other website to use in such a short amount of time, but we can look up just other champions in general. So, champions in the summer split. And I know the meme is, you know, he has been on Zillion every single game he's played, but, you know, if it works, it works. Let's do mid lane. Games played. Zoe was still up, but she doesn't really do well into all of this pick. Rise still up, but he doesn't do well into Azir in general. Aurelia, who still has stats. Orianna, I mean, could have been really good too. You put the ball and some bombs onto Camille and she can go right in. I'm just brainstorming other mid lane picks that could happen, especially Galio. Galio Camille is one of like the combos, kind of like Jarvan Camille, or Jarvan Camille, Jarvan Galio. So Swain, I don't think it would have been very good in this comp. I don't like Swain as a champion in general, but that's something for another time. I can see why he didn't want to pick the Talon. Well, I don't even know if he plays Talon or Galio, because melee into, you know, the Azir and the Kennen and all of this ranged is just hell. Why would you do that to yourself? So let's go to the next page here. Kaisa mid. It looks like it stops kind of around Syndra, Talia. Vel'Koz might have been a cool pick. maybe not long enough range to follow up with the Camille and the Ornn ultimate, because Jin range is pretty fat too. I think the LeBlanc in this comp just acts as the janitor, because Camille, Ornn, and Jin just by themselves can really destroy a team. And then I think the Zilean is more for the lane dominance, because Zilean just can pop bombs onto Tahm Kench whenever he feels like it. So going back through this, see Tahm Kench, Zilean. Like if I'm Reapered and I see the Tahm Kench, okay, Zilean and Lucian, because you could just root him up and then hit him with 2 bombs for the stun and then just continue to unload on him with Lucian. So that's a really strong bot lane in general. There isn't any hard CC unless you get 3 stacks or your ultimate. So these guys are definitely going to have priority in the bot lane, which might allow Jensen to die. Or Jensen. Yeah, which will probably help set up dives for Camille and LeBlanc later on. So they're probably trying to look for, dives in the bot lane, whether or not it comes at level 6 or post level 6, because all of this ability to trap them, like with LeBlanc chain, ultimate, root, stun, and then the fact that Zilean is going to have his ultimate up, is going to be really hard to, outplay that tower dive. So not only is bot lane going to have priority in lane, but they're also going to be able to avoid the ganks from Sejuani because of his move speed. And, if Sejuani dashes in, she has no other movement options, and then you could just land 2 bombs right there. And then you might get slowed up again by, Ashe Volley or Tahm Kench Q, but in the end, you're just going to be able to run away as this bot lane, even if you are pushed up. It's not a pushing, well, yeah, it can be a pushing lane if you want it to be. So C9, from what I'm seeing right here, they want to push bot. They want to dive at some point. Like, they want to, I don't even know if Jensen's going to be able to push the lane as LeBlanc first before he roams bot for these dives. 1v1 top lane can kind of handle himself. He's not going to have priority unless he spams the shit out of his abilities and pushes the lane and then kind of tries to dictate it himself. I heard Licorice is in the MVP talks. Again, I didn't watch this game. I don't actually know what happens. So if they did do some tower dives in bot lane, or even top lane, because, Zilean with a roam up top, he's super speedy, so you can roam anywhere he wants. This is a team where making risky plays can be safe because A, of Zilean, B, Ornn is one of those champions like Sejuani where you can just commit your ultimate but not actually commit to the fight, which is why I really love Ornn and Sejuani comps, because it's like if one of you ults and you don't like the engage, then you can just back off and you still have the other ultimate. But if one of you ults and you like it, the other one will ult, and then you can commit if you still like it even after committing both of those ultimates. So just a little aside about my love for Ornn Sejuani. But yeah, Cloud9, they have a good draft. It's not revolutionary in any way, I don't think. But they definitely outplayed FlyQuest. I still don't agree with this LeBlanc pick against this Azir. Then again, I don't agree with the Azir pick in general. I think picking this Kennen really helps out with their own team fighting, but I think they're gonna want the 1-3-1, which is probably why they picked Azir, because I'm looking at this list of split pushers, or rather this list of mid laners, and the only other one that really pops out at me as a split pusher is Yasuo or Talon, and even then they're just gonna be outclassed by whoever, like LeBlanc, even if that was going to be the decision final. But it would be hard for them to push turrets because they're melee, unless they're unanswered because the 1-3-1 is being forced somewhere else. It's hard to say what a perfect draft might have been, but Cloud9, really solid draft. I like it a lot. I don't think it's genius, but Reapered is pretty smart. Saint Vicious on the other side, I think despite being swerved, he still has a pretty good team comp. It's just about, not messing up in that early game so your bot lane doesn't fall behind, and then because you don't want Jhin to snowball, you don't want Zillion to start roaming early because God forbid you're trying to push top wave and then all of a sudden you get hit with like a 99% slow. I know he probably doesn't level that first, but he just walks up into your lane, hits a button on you, now you can't move, and then you're just set up for all the other CC. It's like, Zillion is top. Why? Well, it's because your Ashe is like 30 farm down. So yeah, Cloud9 really needs to push hard, at the very least in the bot lane early on. And at this point, I'm probably just repeating myself over and over again. But I really like what both sides have set up. FlyQuest, they have a pretty good pick comp, and other than Zillion, there's no way to respond to being picked. Like any of these people, if you get hit with the Ashe arrow, you're gonna get hit with the Sejuani, and then you're gonna get hit with the Kennen, maybe if he's there. But you're just gonna get DPS'd down by like Azir, Ashe, not Tahm Kench, because he's just gonna toss a Q out and be like, "Yeah, I hit you. You're slowed." So it's gonna be hard to pick off Ornn. It should be hard to pick off Camille. It won't be hard to pick off Jhin. It might be hard to pick off Zillion. Like, if you can kill him before he gets his ultimate off, then, well, you not only nullified the entire champion, but you also killed him. So, FlyQuest really has it out for themselves in this game that I'm not going to cover because I told myself I would only do a pick ban analysis. So, yeah, I think that's just about it. To go over my points again, Cloud9 has a good draft. FlyQuest doesn't have as good a draft. I think FlyQuest should have gone a little more all in on their pick comp and picked Zoe, even with some of these counters already picked, because obviously if you lock down Zoe, you kill her. But I think they should have been more confident in themselves in getting ahead earlier. Because, like, when I see Sejuani, Ashe, Tahm Kench, it's like, or even just Sejuani, Ashe, it's like, okay, these guys are going to want to try to force fights. And then if Zoe follows up with that with a Sleepy Trouble Bubble, or if the Sleepy Trouble Bubble is the one to set it up, you have the Tahm Kench, they can't be saved. It's like, you hit a Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto LeBlanc, it doesn't matter that she flies 5 screens away with her ultimate and W and whatever, because then you could just follow up with Ashe Arrow, or, you know, someone stands in the way. But it's hard to say what FlyQuest could have done better in this draft. They obviously didn't know that Camille and Zillion were going jungle and support, so they wasted 2 bans on Olaf and Braum. I can understand why they wanted to ban Olaf and Braum, for the reasons I stated earlier, which is just they're going to run you down in bot lane and kill Tahm Kench over and over again, and then you're going to look like Ole at MSI with, like, what was his score, 2-9-2? Whatever. But yeah, this was a pretty interesting draft. I liked it a lot. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them. If you just want to call me an idiot in my YouTube, go right ahead. Yeah, I guess I'm done. Thanks for watching. This is a part of the video where I talk about myself, so you can leave if you like. But thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I haven't been able to watch much NALCS this year because my work schedule, like, I work on Fridays and Thursdays, so I can't even watch EU LCS. So I've just been stuck watching, you know, the first game of LPL and LCK. Speaking of which, I think GSL is on. Hold up. Code S. If that's on tonight, I'm gonna be pissed because I missed Group C. Code S. Oh no, it's tomorrow. Okay. Oh, Zest made it out. Leenock, I didn't expect that. I really expected Trap. But you know those Zergs. Anyway. Yeah, there was, what was I saying? Right, I can't watch too much LCS. I've been trying to watch as much LCK at the very least as humanly possible. And I'm going to be working with a university team this upcoming year. I don't want to say who they are yet because, you know, we still don't even have players because the school year hasn't started yet. I know a few other teams are trying out already, but we don't even have our like gaming room set up yet. Like we actually have to buy the computers and build them ourselves because oh, that'll save money in the budget, which yes, it will. And I've only ever built one computer, so I'm not confident in my ability to make 11. Uh, Another interesting thing is the fact that I'm gonna also be an Overwatch coach, and I don't know anything about Pro Overwatch. So, I mean, it's just a bunch of diamond players, which is like high gold, platinum elo in League of Legends. So, really, they can teach me up until the point where I need to start watching Monte Cristo, and then I can do my best to lead them too. Uh, there was a Rocket League player who was challenger, but then the other Rocket League players are like the equivalent of gold. So there's probably not going to be a Rocket League team. There was a lot of people saying Fortnite and PUBG, but Fortnite is a meme and PUBG is not esports ready, as we all know. Uh, right now, the highest elo I've seen from people applying, even though the school year hasn't started yet, is I peaked in Diamond 5, which, oof, so did I. It's an accomplishment to some, but if we're going to be competing in college, it's a good thing we're going to have September, October, November, December before January hits and the CSL starts, or whatever Riot's sanctioned league is. So, I mean, if I went from fucking not playing seriously at all and just getting gold for rewards to Diamond 5 in 3 months, not even 2 months, and then I fell out in the third month, I think pretty much anyone else can do it. But it's going to be hard getting not just them to a level where they can actually compete with the other teams. It's also going to be, I think the most important part is going to be them working together, obviously, because it's, you know, it's a bunch of students probably haven't seen each other before, especially if some of them are freshmen, and it's a 2-year college, so you know, a lot of the old students probably aren't there anymore. So students they did know last year, half of them are likely to be gone unless they're taking other classes. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. I'm pretty excited to see what's going to be happening with this team. Even if we go like completely defeated, I think it's going to be really fun and really cool to finally get that hands-on like coaching experience that I've really yearned for, because so far in my career everything's been online, and it's like, yeah, I've had head coaching roles with amateur teams, but it's not the same as actually sitting down and looking into someone's eyes and telling them to get good at League of Legends. You know, I can say over Discord all I want, like, oh, you need to rotate better, but if I actually sit down, put something in front of their face and like, look, this is what you should do, this is what you did do, like how LS yells at his duo queue partner by going back into the replay and being like, why are you standing here instead of 5 feet to the left? Doesn't get anything. Yeah, I watched LS the other day and he was tilted. Uh yeah, it's been a not a busy 2 months. I've just been incredibly lazy because, well, this past month has been vacation and quitting my first job, which, well, the job I'm quitting to become a coach. I've been trying, like, most of my free time has been trying to watch LCK, so I haven't had much time to make videos. But now that I think I'm done playing League of Legends for this season, because I hit my benchmark of a 50% win rate, and it could have been in Plat 1, but I didn't play for 3 months, so now I'm stuck in Plat 4, like 50 LP. It's like, yeah, whatever. The Elo is going to reset. I'm going to go 5-5 in my promos and get placed into Gold 5. It's going to be great. I don't know. I don't care, because I brought an account from Bronze 3 to Gold 5 in the matter of a week. So, really, it's just about grinding. My brother says he wants to go pro, but he fucking tilts off the face of the earth, and I tell him, just mute all. He's like, nah, I can't do that. I need to watch these people send me death threats for not ganking their lane at 3 minutes when they solo die. It's like, yeah, that's fair, I guess. But you're not gonna go pro by getting abused verbally in chat. Or maybe you will. I'm not sure. But I don't know what he's doing. I don't think he's gonna even make it to like Diamond 1 unless he actually tries to buckle down, and I've told him that like he actually needs to sit down. But he's on his Smurf right now, so what the fuck can I do? He doesn't want to listen to me, and I actually have a resume. So I mean, it's frustrating because he's done this a bunch of times before, where it's like, I want to do this, okay, go do it, and then he just doesn't, and it's like, well, I have my own stuff to focus on, so I'm gonna try to be a better brother later, because right now I just needed to pump out this video because when I met with the assistant coach, or the assistant coach to be, he said that he really liked my analytical content, and he does play League of Legends, so he knows that I know what I'm talking about, which is like, really relieves my imposter syndrome a little bit. But I want to try to make some more shit, and that's why I made this video, to just try to make some more shit, just remind people that I'm still alive. So yeah, do whatever you want. Upvote this on Reddit. Vote manipulation. I'm a League of Legends Reddit moderator. If you post this to Twitter, I'll take it down, even if you do the non-participation link, because I'm literally retarded. Alright, yeah, that's my daily anti-League of Legends mod rant. If you want another one, you'll probably catch me on League of Meta calling Cadex or whatever that person's name is an idiot for... Or recently, it's been a different one, not Dong Squad. He's one of the mods that doesn't talk, so he doesn't get any hate because he doesn't say anything. Like, I lack focus. He talks a lot, so he gets a lot of hate. Or like Reagan, whenever they decide to post, it's like, you shouldn't have done that. Because not only are you wrong, but you make you and the rest of the mods look like idiots. So please, just like, take something off the front page and have someone else explain it for you, whether or not it's the correct decision or not. Okay, I'm really done now. Thank you for watching. Go have fun with life.